What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we got Coach Prime responding to Keyshawn Johnson's comments about coaches conspiring against him to game plan and for Oregon to dominate them. And also we have him responding to questions about Cormani McClain. This is going to go on every week with Cormani and him seeing the field. Now, he got 2 tackles. You can see him online anywhere last week. And people were like, man, Cormani couldn't have did no worse than anyone else who was out there. And Coach Prime is going to address that because he said it's this very key component that he's missing right now. And it may not even just be about his physical ability. And it never has been because obviously he was a 5-star top cornerback in his class, So it's not about what he can do physically. It's more so about what he's not doing as far as preparation goes throughout the week. And he also addressed the comments Keyshawn Johnson made. If you haven't heard those, I will play that first to get you caught up to date. But he addressed that and he addressed Cormani. Let's check it out.
You were talking about the jealousy and the way these coaches and how Deion got there. This is interesting you said that. I didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted to let you finish. So I spoke to somebody in the coaching fraternity right after the game. And they know some people that coach at Oregon. And they was telling me, they said, man, I've never heard from another assistant coach of how much information was being given to that staff about, I'm being real with it, about game planning against Colorado, so they can beat them.
Well,
everybody was stacked. They was
stacking.
That's the reality of it. I ain't making this up.
No.
I ain't gonna disclose no names, but y'all know who I'm talking about if you watch it. So,
right here.
All right. So Keyshawn Johnson went on and said that there may have been some coaches who released some information about your team to Oregon.
That's ordinary.
Was that something that maybe you were alluding to after the game when you said that teams are trying to beat you and not you?
No, I was alluding to what I said. I was honest about what I said. No, that happens every week. That's not just from Oregon game. That's life. And I want our coaches to understand that we're not just playing against a team. We're playing against all of college football. It ain't too many people lined up to see us dominant, to see us win, and they got to understand that as a whole, and our entire staff has to understand you're not just participating against that per se school. We call for information as well, so this not a one-stop type of thing, but I know Keyshawn alluded to the gentleman saying that they have a plethora of calls trying to assist, which is understandable. That don't make it no tougher, no easier. We understand that's what we're up against.
Coach Sean Keeler at the Denver Post, you mentioned last week that Cormani seeing the field was up to Cormani. I wonder if you could elaborate on what you want to see him do, 1. And 2, did he help his case?
Study, prepare.
Late against
Study,
Oregon?
Prepare, be on time for meetings. Show up to the darn meetings. Understand what we're doing as a scheme. Want to play this game. Desire to play this game. Desire to be the best in this game. At practice, in the film room. And on your own free time. You do know that I check film time for each player upon the week. Thursday, I need film times from the whole staff so I can see who's been preparing. And that's just not about Cormani. That's about a multitude of them. So if I don't see you would be a fool to put somebody out there and they're unprepared. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. I'm old school. I'm sorry.
So there you have it on a lot of fronts. Coaches was calling around saying do this, do that to Coach Prime. Now, it's a coaching fraternity with a lot of these guys, and you have several coaches that cross each other's paths, whether they were assistants on a previous staff together or one assistant branch off from another head coach, and they keep in contact and they're rooting for each other, whether they root for each other unless they're playing against each other. You know what I'm saying? So you have that type of stuff. But Coach Prime is someone that many coaches want to go against. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of them calls came from Nick Saban. I mean, people think Nick Saban is happy for him because you see him on these commercials now. But that's not the case. He's just smiling in his face because he got caught in 4K hating. But Cormani McClain, as far as he goes, it'll be interesting to see how his mom responds to this. She's been very supportive But now the public sound bites are starting to mount up against Cormani as if he's not preparing or he didn't come to college and take it as serious as he should. It's almost like, based off what Coach Prime is being saying and what I'm receiving and what many are receiving as far as his message to Cormani, it's almost like he's just expecting to get by on talent and not having to really study and love the game. And it's going to be like, I'm curious to see how it goes over with his mom, you know, when they come together and talk about it at the end of this season. Will he stay there? Because a lot of individuals think he's going to go into the portal after this season. And with these comments coming out publicly, it doesn't help his case to be able to transfer. Now, somebody would definitely take a Cormani McClain, no doubt against that. You know, no doubt in that. But to say he has to be ready, he's not watching film. And he didn't just say it was about Cormani. He said it was about everyone, coaches, everybody, other players. But the question was specifically about Cormani, which he was started out his answer addressing, and then he added others on. And to see Cormani get out there last week, make a few tackles, we thought that would be the silver lining in the game that could carry over to next week and the rest of the season. Because at some point, you want to see Cormani McClain on the field, period. The good thing, you know, is football. You're going to be there 3 years regardless, so he could be sold to come back, and he might not want to run from the grind. You know, you want to stay there and get the most, because him and Travis can be dynamic next year. It don't all have to happen right away. College football, you have some that go to the next level and they have the seamless transition. But a lot of the top 5-star guys, it's a period in between, you know, them reaching that level that they reached All-American status in high school and reaching that at the collegiate level. You've got grown men that's been in the strength and conditioning program 3 and 4 years, and sometimes 5 and 6 years, depending on red shirts and transfers and all types of stuff, COVID years. And so you can't ask a 17-year-old kid to be out there with a 23-year-old and expect them to be nearly as good right now or nearly as focused and attentive to detail. So I thought that was interesting answers about Cormani, because you know Buffalo's fans want to see him. Now, I've seen some footage from practice where he's gotten burned and different things, and they say this is why he's not ready. Not, you know, getting beat right at the line of scrimmage, you know, for receptions and different things. And you even saw it in the spring game. They were putting out little highlights of, I think it was like a 3-star Utah commit wide receiver that was burning them. And, you know, we going to see, man. We're going to see what Cormani does. He can respond to this and be better than ever, or, you know, he could kind of sulk at this. But his mom has been supportive and says she believes in Prime up to this point. So what I will want to see is how he progresses during the season. Will he make it on the field? Will he even become the second, third option and get him some reps? You know, that's what should be his goal this season. You know, you come in, you get humble pie, you see you not what you thought you were. Now the goal is to get on the field and contribute and be a regular for the rest of the season. Coach Prime, I think, is calling him out to see what he's made of, because he knows it's going to take this type of coaching for him to reach the highest level. So hopefully he's not taking it personally. You've been called out by the best ever at your position. Just be happy you're in that position to be called out by the best ever at your position. So I'll end this by saying Prime is focused and keying in on him and putting it out to the media. First and foremost, if you reach your potential level, you're going to be one of the ones that have to deal with this at the next level, getting called out in the media. All this stuff is building blocks for where you're going. So that would be my advice to Cormani, because I think, you know, he's amazing. That was a good open field tackle last week, and they're going to need him, you know, for the Buffs' future. He's a piece for the future and one of the key pieces, and a player that they expect to reach the NFL level. So you don't want to put him out there and let him underwhelm. See, that's a lot of people overlook how important that is. If you put him out there and underwhelm, his stock will drop. And Prime is cognizant of that. So instead of just putting him out there, it's better that he say, you know, there's focused things and there is things he can do off the field to prepare better before he gets in the game than put him out there and then they see he's like very overrated and then he have to build his stock back up. I think people are underrating that. But yeah, man, I want to know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.